everyone once again. Yes, twice today. We had internet issues if you didn't catch that earlier. But we are currently on the ramp still in St. Louis, and we are really trying to get this one flight in. The internet issues seem to be we were hooked up Wi-Fi prior. Seemed to be something to do with that. We moved the office around. My tower now sits within 2 feet of both the modem and the router. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I know it seems strange, but we would run good for a solid 40 minutes and then boom, the internet would just fall off. So we've hardwired into the router, hoping for the best, and we'll do what we can with what we get. So if I fall off again, folks, blame it on the internet. That's how I do it all the time. If not, throw your fist at it too. That'll help. It always does. You know that. All right, so again, we are in St. Louis. The scenery that I have has it flip-flopped here in the cargo area. Where I'm parked with this 777 next to me should be UPS aircraft. FedEx is at the other end. So without further ado, let's hop up into the cockpit. We're going to go quickly through the pre-flight brief. Then we're going to come into this and we're going to rapid fire, folks. I'd like to be able to edit a highlight reel tonight, but it may have to wait because I got to work again tomorrow. For those of you who weren't here with us earlier today, I'm just off a 48-hour shift at work at the airport, so I am kind of groggy, a little tired, and yes, it's sometimes grumpy. So we're going to try and get this flight in, though. So, gosh, excuse me. Obviously, there's a frog in my throat I picked up, too. All right, so let me bring Sim Toolkit over here. As you can see on the Sim Toolkit, we are at St. Louis, elevation 618 feet. Heading for the runway 12 left that we plan to use is 123, and it's 9,003 feet long. Now, Omaha is our destination, and that's 985 feet up. Runway 14 right will be our arrival runway. You see the ILS information for it. It is capable for auto land, and the heading is 142. So that's the basics for our airports. The route. Oh, excuse me, folks, for that yawn. Sorry. Like I said, coming off 48, so bear with me. We'll be doing the Whirly 6 departure to Macon in out of St. Louis. The arrival is Lima Mike November, and pardon me if I don't know that fix. Onto the MAR WI3 arrival for runway 14 right in Omaha. Current weather. It's also in the chat room if you want to look, but we'll go through it real quick. 150 at 3 here in St. Louis, 10 miles visibility, and the overcast is now up to 1,100 feet. Was down at 500 or less earlier today, and trust me, I had a very long night last night at work. The flight ended up diverting because fog rolled in and caused the divert. And by 2 o'clock in the morning, they called it. Oh, again, excuse me. So that's why a little bit of the yawns going on here. 29.98 though on the altimeter. Over in Omaha, they pretty much had kind of the same crappy day. But again, as we've gotten into the late afternoon hours here, winds are 140 at 4. 10 miles also, 1,200 feet overcast. They're also 29.88. So again, I'll put that in as we get closer. Loadout for today. We're going to be putting 34,850 pounds of payload on board. That'll put a zero fuel weight of 129,629. And we're going to upload 15,317 pounds of fuel. So cost index for the flight 85, that's what we do on all 7.3s. And the cruise flight level is 360. So that pretty much wraps us up with the left side of the ledger. Let's hop over to the right side. As you can see, here's the basic information on the aircraft and so forth. Currently, we are trying to depart by 17:55, so that's why we're kind of moving. So as we come down this little left side here, there's our cost index again, 85, looking at 399 miles in the air. Same average wind. And at the rate I'm yawning, there's no way in heck we're going to make it. But anyway, 249 is the average wind direction at 74 knots. So we're going to be battling some winds to get in there. No problem, we'll make it. Here's our fuel breakdown. 6.5 will be our reserve. That gives us enough to make St. Joe and still have 45 minutes on the ground for the FAA. Down here in the block fuel, there it is, 15,317. So that's what the fueling people will be uploading here shortly. And here is our route to Omaha and our real tough route to St. Joe, which is only 124 miles away. And then we're going to wrap this up here, scheduled hour and 35 minutes, probably going to estimate about an hour 39 in flight, we'll see, and then our weight breakdown. And that, folks, pretty much wraps us up chart-wise. We've got here's the routing for you so you can get an idea what it's going to look like over the ground. Our flight level winds, 340. Kind of see them coming from the southwest, pushing over to the due west. So, and then kind of brisk, so we'll see. And then finally, the level above us, so you get it, we'll be in between. A little stronger as expected, but more west to east. Finally, significant weather-wise, jet streams cutting across the route there. You can see that's this black line. And then we got a turbulence up here to 32,000. Let's just plan on it with a jet stream in the area. This could be a little bumpy. All right, folks, that wraps up the pre-flight brief. So let's move on to getting the aircraft ready to go. So we'll move Sim Toolkit out of the way, and that way you'll all be able to see what's going on. To start with, we're going to do the, getting the right mouse on the right screen. We're going to start with the preliminary pre-flight checks. This is also some people call the acceptance checklist. Basically, when you step on the plane, it's been power, it came in, it's doing a turn, this is what you come to. So we're going to go up to the top panel, the overhead. A couple of things. Battery switch, make sure it's on and guarded. Standby power, on and guarded. Our voltmeter, make sure it's set to ground power. Cabin, utility, these two switches need to be on. Emergency lights off. We're going to go ahead and turn what would have been the no smoking sign, more than likely, if it's even in service on a cargo plane, the electronics, no electronics. Exterior lights are set logo, and just the steady lights on the wingtips. Any collision off, which is the next switch over. Window heat is on. Probe heat is off. Wing ice, engine ice off. Hydraulic pumps for the engines on. Electrics off. And fuel pumps, they are all off. Trim air is on. Isolation valve open. Left and right recirculators both in the auto, packs in the auto. Engine bleeds on. Cruise altitude we'll go ahead and set in here. And finally, and 985, so that'll be, yeah, we round up, so 1,000. And then, where are we? We'll keep the fasten seatbelts for now in the auto position. And we'll hold the rest of that as we get our IRS beginning to align. So that, folks, takes care of accepting the cockpit. Now we're going to do a couple things. Let's drop down here. Let's make sure that landing gear lever is down. Flaps are up. And trim is still in the green. Parking brake is set. And our interior lights, that would be our panel lights and circuit breaker lights, down on the bottom, same thing with backgrounds. All right, so there's your acceptance checklist. Let's move on now to the pre-flight checks. And basically what's involved with that, it's a little more detailed, a little more action going on, but we start all the way up at the top for this procedure. So first thing we're going to do, move this over to status, heading status. There's your setup there. Then we'll come over here, do a quick flight recorder check, and that's good. Mach airspeed, overspeed 1, 2, stall warning, test 1, test 2, all 4 good. Passenger oxygen normal and on. Oxygen's good. EECs, electronic engine controls, are in the guarded on position. Audio panel set. Service interphone on. Dome light off. And most importantly, you can always check your 3 green to make sure you're at least down and locked. All right. Oh, forgot the one thing up there I wanted to do. We'll hit the device. Let's get our alignment started. Okay, so the 2 left and right IRSs, we've right now moved to off. Now we're going to move them to nav, but we're going to go 1 to align, 2 to nav. And you can see 7 minutes. That's why we move it to here. All right, so moving down, we're going to make sure all of our switches are guarded. Yaw damper for now is off. Nav, IRS, FMCs are normal. Source, auto, control panel, normal. Fuel pressure looks good. We're going to do a crossfeed check, so we're going to move it over. We'll get a dim light here in a minute. See how it dimmed? Then we'll move it back. It's bright, and then it's off. Fuel pump's off. Coming down the next layer, standby power is set. Ground power is set on the DC volts. So again, we've gone through these. Still on external power. Moving further below the engines, the APU is off. No EGT showing. All the runway and turn off and taxi lights are off. And the wipers are off. Middle, we're just looking at the equipment, supply, and exhaust. They're in normal. Emergency switch again for the lights in the guarded position. Light on and auto for that. Again, our window lights are on. Our window heat is on. That's the green here, and the lights or switches are in on. Probe heat is on. Let's see, wing ice and engine ice on the off. Engine hydraulic 1 and 2 off. Electric 1 and 2 on. Trim air is on. Air conditioning is set to auto. Recirc fans are in auto. left pack, right pack auto, recirc auto, and our engine bleeds on. All right, folks, we're going to come down now to the bottom. We're going to do the fire check, make sure they're working good. Just get 2 lights when you go to the left. And then you get the bells and the main T handles lit up. Okay, we'll check. Checked. And the cargo. Good deal. All right, everything checks there on the fire. Squawk code looks good. Since we're on VATSIM, we're good on this. 122,800. And that concludes those checks. Let's move up now to the FMC. And let's get it aligned. So we're going to go to FMC. Make sure our model and dates are correct, and they are not. I'm not sure why it's not updating. Kilo Sierra Tango Lima for St. Louis. Come down here, get our GPS. Now I selected the bottom one. Even days I go right, odd days I go left. Same thing with the ignition. Route. We're going to St. Louis, so we click that up there. Omaha. And flight number. Oh. There we go. And there you go, folks. We now have the alignment in the FMC. We're just waiting for it. And currently, 3 minutes to go. So while we wait, let's go ahead and load our plane up. Okay, we're going to catch up here too. So we did the battery, we did the GPUs on the bus. We're waiting on the alignment. Did the service, did all of these. Okay. And we're in this process right here. Okay, so while we wait, let's go to fuel and balance, weight and balance. And what we're going to do is click Payload. Stand by. All right, so we're going to put 30 males in each of these. Now, here, let me show you. If you were a passenger plane and you wanted to break it down by females and kids, click the MFK button, enter that, and it's way off. I'll let you know. But you get the general gist here. For our flight, we're just going to put enter, enter, okay, so that takes care of this part. Now, we're going to load in the final bit to bring us up to 34,850 pounds. I think that's what I determined did it. There it is. Yeah, last time I figured it was 3,040, so I went with the same numbers. Okay. I'm just getting a note card out in case St. Louis comes up so I can write a clearance down if need be. I gotta find my pen. Where's my pen? We moved my desk around and I have no idea where anything is. You know, women just gotta make it their way, not my way. But she did a great job. On. Once we got everything in place and my computers and all set up, she went to the, womenizing it, putting all the pictures and all up, but I wanted them up, so she did a great job while I was away on the 48. So we're not going to complain. And I don't think any of you are listening to me when I complain. So, all right, so we got the airplane loaded, cargo wise, yeah, no, it looks like people. We're going to come back now and do the fuel. And again, the fuel loadout is 15,317. All we got to do is plug those numbers in. Click the enter button. There it is, required. And it kind of shows we already have it. So it won't take long at all. Hit the gas truck and he's already done. Let's see if it brought us up. And it did. Okay. I had already, like I said, started this flight and was about ready to kick over to push and start when the internet died. Hopefully that doesn't happen here, but we're thinking it won't. So, a few prayers out there to keep the internet going. We would appreciate it. So, with that brings us back over to our FMC. Now, we got it aligned. Let me make sure. It looks like it. Yeah, we're aligned. And how you can tell, the easiest way, you'll see your PFD fill in and your nav display. All right, so coming back in, let me come down a little. So we're going to go on. Now, I don't put the runway in first. I just go straight to pumping the flight plan in, because some of them that I'll do, folks, are really long and they take a little bit. This one, oh, it's really tough. 2 fixes. That might take a total of 10 seconds. Okay, add 10. I got to get down to see it because I know one's MCM, I believe. Okay, so for getting the FMC ready for flight, we're going to put in the legs, FMCM. We're going to select 1290, that's the fix that we're going to, and LM as in Mike, N as in November, and again, because that's going to the east longitude, we already know that's wrong, so that one. All right, so that brings us to this page. Let's go ahead, activate, execute, and pull it up over here. 299 is what's showing right now without any SIDS and stars. So as long as that ballparks into our information, we're good to go, folks. Hang on, I'm pulling it up real quick. Okay, it's going slow, that route. Let's try this route. So 297 to 399, we're good. As long as we fall within there, I'm not going to get too overly concerned. There we go. Of course, the other one came up probably just at the same time. All right, so there's our route, folks. Like I said, it's really tough to program. Next up, we hit next page. Here is where you could click save route, because you know, you could next time you fly this route, take off on, say, the 30s, or the 1122, whichever one, or vice versa, land on a different one. So, you know, if you save it here, it's not that hard. So, now we're going to click DEPARR on the FMC, look for KSTL, and click departure. And now, if we go next page, we're going to go through every one of them to get there. If we click previous, there's Whirly. Put you right there real quick. And we're going 1, 2 left. They're all in select. You can see the dotted line showing the route we planned. So let's click execute, and there it fills in. Back to route. All right, so we got our runway in, route lined up, and over here now we're up to 317. I am going to go ahead and plug in our at least star for Omaha, which is the Mari 3 here, execute. Going to bring us up a little higher on our, total route mileage to there, 321. We're going to hold off on these to make sure which runway we're going to. So, and we'll do that pretty quick at top of cruise or top of climb. Okay, so we'll come back to the page. We got 12 left loaded. We're going to click Performance Initialization. All right. First thing I always do when I come here, click CFW. Just click the line select key there. That sets things in motion. We're going to put in 15.3 for what we planned on fuel, and the other number is the actual loaded. Okay, there's our 0. There's where we're going to put in 6.5. And then 85. Now over here on the other side, this is where we put in our cruise, which is going to be 360. And before I click execute, I'm going to enter that average wind, 249 at 7.4. All right, looking over here, I'm just going to do a quick kind of scan around. Feel free, folks, to join in, pick a plane out. St. Louis has got a plethora of places to park. Yeah, I learned a new word. No, just kidding. Feel free to fly along, folks. This is not a long flight. Do not expect a second flight. I won't be able to make it. By the time we get there, this will be enough for me. Okay, so we've clicked execute. Next up is the N1. Now, I've already put this into Professional Flight Planner. I'm going to put it into TopCat, and I'm going to do what the pilots would do. And in that program, if you download it, pay for it, load it, there's a ACARS section. Oops, hang on a second. Helps to start it in the right spot. So when that comes up, you get all your weights, all your fuels, everything the way you want it. You click TLR at the top, and it's Takeoff Landing Report. You can click Takeoff. I always do a weather update. And then I go over, and the runways I'm not going to use, I uncheck just to make it easier. Okay, and then I go ACARS. All right, so our takeoff landing report, this would be that strip printing up. 12 left, dry, which is fair. Our roads are dry here. We're going to be doing a D-rated takeoff at 53 degrees. So how do we set that up? Well, we're doing TO, so we're going to stay on TO. We're going to put 5.3. Let's see what the margin is here. Hang on, let me go down to paper a little bit. 758 feet. Let's give it a shot. Okay. We'll keep it at climb 2. And I really don't know. All I know is that just pulls the power back on the engine to help so you're not always constantly at full power. Kind of gives it a little, saves on a little bit of the wear and tear that's going to happen to it. Okay, so we got this page set up. We go to takeoff. I always click next page. Now, let me just see. 43, 44. Okay. Theoretically, just clicking takeoff should give us that same preference. And waiting. It unfortunately goes through all the runways. Right, 53 is same thing. So it did give us the same thing. Okay, so runway. They're calling it 0 and 0. All right, I really hate this thing sometimes. All right, well, we don't have a wind. Heading, though, is 123. And that'll go here. 1500 for that. And go to next page, hit our CG. And we are going out of here, flaps 5. Okay, now they're calling 143, 143, 144. So what we're going to do is actually I'm going to keep that one. We're going to go to 143, and I'm going to keep that one. Now they're showing CG of 19.6 and a trim of 5.75. We'll go with that one, but we'll be dialing it anyway. So that concludes getting our FMC set up. We still got one other step to do to finish this out. Let's get up here to the main panel and we'll set our altimeters to 129. What is it? 129.98. Let me check to make sure the other one did, and it did. Now go up to the overhead. Left pump on. APU switch on. You got to make sure you have fuel going to it. In X-plane, it will die. Unlike FSX, where it'll stay alive, even without fuel. And then once it comes on, it'll cycle all the way up into this area and then fall back to around 5. Once it gets there, we can set the gens on and then the bleed and then set our DC meter. And that's all we're waiting on right now. Matter of fact, we got a little further than this before we lost internet because we were about to do the departure brief. Okay, so there's the gens. APU bleed. And finally, moving the voltmeter to APU gen. All right, folks, that wraps up our procedure for pre-flight. Now let's get into the actual checks for before start. Before start, let's come down to the middle and a little further down. We're going to turn our flight directors on. Auto throttle will keep off. Indicated speed will be V2 plus 5, so 155. Runway heading is already in, and the altitude is already set, probably from the last attempt. And then we'll do a reset here on our fuel flow. Landing gear down, that's right here, the big lever. Speed brakes, they too show down in the down and detent. Throttles closed, thrust reversers down. Flaps 0 showing here and nothing showing here, so 0. And start levers going a little further back. They are in the cutoff or all the way down position. Next to them on the left is the parking brake. Lights on, switches up. So it is engaged. Okay, let's go up to the overhead, get the yaw damper now turned on. Passengers can now begin to board. All right, we're going to do a couple things here real quick before we get into that departure brief. Mainly get these big ones out of the way. We'll come back and do a couple checks on after we do the captains, and then once we do the first officers, we'll press on to the departure brief. Okay, so coming back, couple of things we did. First, the oxygen. This has that gauge. The 747 I fly does not. So this is what you would look for to be able to test it when it asks you. And all you do is this button right here, you push, you hear the breathing. The other thing, the hold 1, hold 2, 1 up will give you all yellows for the autopilot, down 2 red and a yellow. Your speed arm or speed brake arm is here. Takeoff config, stage trim, and all of that is here. And then let's get that other one done real quick. That's the longer one. We've done the fire panels. Okay. Y'all can read it as I check them off. Again, we're going to do a right side engine start. And then we're getting pretty much into the same one the captain ran. Okay. Okay, now we're kind of caught up with the before starts. We'll hit these, all are done. And that gets us to pushback. Okay, and that is where we're at on the other panel. So from here, what we've already got our flight plan filed, we've already got the FMC filed. We're good to go from this point on. I am going to do one more thing over here on the tablet. Stop this, load that, and I'm going to have a little fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, welcome aboard our flight today. We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company and business. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
All right. Okay, here. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to fade completely out. There we go. Sim toolkit's up. We're going to do the departure brief real quick. And the internet is going strong. Hallelujah. All right, folks. Looking at Sim Toolkit, we're on the flight plan page. What I want to do first, bring us up to the live map. Puts us right here in St. Louis. We're parked down at this end. Up here is where technically FedEx would park. Down here is where UPS parks. General Aviation, I think Prime Air, the Amazon airline, that's where they park for the unload. Southwest Airlines, American, primarily go in those spots, and then the rest are hodgepodge. At one time, there were F-15s based here with the Air National Guard. No longer. And then this complex here was the old TWA maintenance area. Now up here is where Boeing is now located. All of this is Boeing. I think even this. This was the old McDonnell hangars. There were 2. I think they've done, for the most part, gotten rid of most of the first hangar there. But GoJet, Transstates, and I think Envoy, I know Transstates and GoJet are there. I'm not sure about Envoy, but that's where their headquarters basically is. And the old TWA World Headquarters is still right here, Operations Center, I should say. Not used anymore. That's it for the tour of the airport. A really good restaurant used to be right there, but 9/11 happened and I think they closed because of it. 94th Aero Squadron, great place. Right along the runway, right along the taxiway. Loved it. Then they had to go and close it. Oh well. But anyway, this is where we'll start off. Here's your METAR last updated, what is that, 2102? So they're coming up on an update here soon. Okay, we're going to bring NavGraph over. Again, here shows the departure. And we'll real quick take a look at the airport. Frequency-wise, if we get ATC, this is the block we'll go with all of these. We're going to basically taxi out via Kilo all the way down to Echo, to Sierra, up to the runway and go. That's all I ever use this chart for. But this is our departure. So again, across the top are your frequencies plus the airport elevation of 618. Transition altitude, we already know it's 18,000. We're in the US. And departures 128.1 if they come up. Okay, so I've got this up enough so you should be able to see it through the bulk of the departure. 12 left, we're going to take off on a heading of 123. At 1,120 feet, we're going to then go direct Hefner. From Hefner, at or above 2,500, then on to the depicted route. From Worley, which is, where is Worley? Is that up here? All we're going to do is maintain 5,000 until 10 minutes after departure, and then we can do our climb. So pretty simple departure, just a big turn back to the west. All right, so with that, let's get this out of the way. Get back here, do this, and let's get into the V speeds for this flight. Again, we know that they are ding 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 139 for V1, 143 for V rotate, 145 for V2. So there you go, folks. That is the departure brief. We are now ready to start the push and start checklist. And with that, we need head up to the overhead. System B, electric hydraulic pump to on. Fuel pumps all on. Look down, center pump still out with no fuel. Okay, anti-collision light. Let's do this before. We need a tug. Okay, got our route set. Hit left key.
All right, Captain, got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
All right, folks, I think we're ready because it's going to take him a little bit to get here.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
All right, so back up to the top. Anti-collision light on. Auto throttles, they say to arm. I'm going to keep them off for now.
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross-check and all call, thank you.
Here he comes through all the containers. And the containers are floating. I did not know that. Oh. All right, folks, that is the wrap on the departure and push and start. Sorry about that. Didn't really want to cough in your ear.
Alright, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
And no, they weren't. Dang it, that was on me. Alright, let's get out and take a look. Make sure. Yeah, good. Okay, they are closed. Okay. Dang it, I hate when I forget them. Alright, so that wraps up the push and start. Once he's hooked up, we'll follow his directions. Back on the checklist for pushback, transponder, parking brake as he tells us, and we'll turn our hydraulic pumps on afterwards.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Toes connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Alright, I always have. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. I don't know. Okay, so we got that on. Parking brake's coming off. Why isn't it coming off? I did take the chocks out, right? Aha! They are still in. Let's see if that works. There we go.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Alright, so he has cleared us to start up. I'm going to wait a few seconds here. Get us going. But basically for an engine start, we just kind of go through it. Couple of things have to happen in order for it to work. Again, we're starting with the right engine, moving to the left. Big thing is turn the packs off. Make sure the fuel pumps are on. And then we're ready to start them up, like he said, or light them up. Now, all you do, get up to the first one, which is right here. Click it one time to the right. Watch down here, you'll see N2 rising. Once N2 reaches at least 17, let me kind of scoot in here. Okay, there it is. No more than 25, move it up to idle. And then she'll light off on her own. You'll know light off, there you go, EGT, climbing up, N1 climbing up, N2 climbing up. Now at 56, a couple of things are going to happen here. Let me come back just a bit more. Okay, this switch will turn to auto like it did. This light will extinguish, and all we have to do is announce starter disconnect. That takes us through.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Okay. And he wants the parking brake. There we go.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
First engine's up and running, folks. Alright, so we're going to do this in this view as much as we can. Going to that one. Now one thing I will do, go ahead and click your generator so you don't forget. And then we're watching that N2, and it's this one right here. Okay. He'll tell us when the pin's out. When that's out, we can then turn our hydraulics on. One switch is all we have left.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Okay. I am going to go ahead There's the starter disconnect or cutout. There he goes. Sorry about that, folks. And we'll see him out that window here. He'll just bloop, bloop. There he is, holding the pin up, saying we're good to go. All right, so there we go, folks. That takes care of engine start. Whoops. Now, before taxi. Before taxi checks, we got to make sure generator 1, 2 are on, and then we start going down the probe heat, the wing ice, the wing and the engine ice, pack switches back on, isolation to auto, APU off, engine starts to continuous, and then we'll check to make sure everything's in idle. So to the top. Okay, our probe heat is coming on. We'll go ahead and run anti-ice. What did I do? Wrong ones. There we go. Okay, these need to go to continuous. And, oh, the bleeds. Always forget something, folks. That's why I like the checklists being there. And we're in auto. And next page. Ground equipment's clear. We'll get the flaps set here in a second and do a flight control check. All right, so there and there. Down here. We'll get set up for that flight control check. We're going to flaps 5. I think we're in it. We'll find out here up top. 2, 5. And we're green. We are set. Okay. Flight controls. Since pilots, for the most part, are not going to see their wingtips that well, we'll just pull the gauge up right here by clicking status. This shows you your hydraulics, your brake temperatures, and the position of your flight controls. Ailerons left and right. That looks good. Elevator down, up. And then the rudder. Okay, rudder is good. And then I like to just kind of make sure everything's free. Looks that way. Let's go to engine, even though it tells you to go blank. Final checks. Flaps are set for takeoff. Taxi lights on. Runway turnoffs as needed. Alright, so we're going to go up top. Runway turnoffs, lights on. Okay, and we are done with this.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Okay, and we're set now to take off. All right, folks, we're going to get moving here. We'll see you at the end of the runway. So what we'll do, take off the parking brake, give it a little power, away we go. And we got a master caution, it looks like. Hang on, which one is it? Air conditioning. What's missing? Ah, APU is still running. So let's go ahead. Off, off. And now we're unlit, so we're good to go. All right, folks, as we taxi down where we should be, we'll just so you remember, we're going to Kilo, to Echo, to Sierra, onto runway 12 left. See you there. Alright folks, welcome back. We're at the end of the runway. And... oh, I didn't mean to stop. Doggone it. And we're getting ready to do the before takeoff procedure. And then we're going to get out of here and get to Omaha. Alright folks. There's runway 12 left here at St. Louis. I used to love this runway. Oh gosh, this goes back TWA years, so we're talking right about the turn of the century of 1999 to 2000. There used to be, here, let me go out real wide. Out in this area, it's no longer there. They've kind of flattened it, made it a tunnel. There used to be a parking area where you could watch airplanes, and this runway was not there yet. The tunnel came because of that runway. But anyway, it's no longer there, the parking area, but it was so much fun because it was a hill down to the runway, which is right over here. So it was really cool. I wish they would have brought it back, but I guess they've had a lot of problems with vagrants and other things that would go on in a place like it, so hence it's gone. But yeah, it was really neat here at St. Louis. We'd watch the 747s come in, the L-1011s. Oh yeah, we're talking some aircraft a lot of people may have never seen. 747 they have, but not the L-10s. TWA had a fleet of them. 767s, and they just lumber in the air coming in. It was so much fun to watch. So, but anyway, that ain't helping our flight. So let's get into the before takeoff procedure. Again, to the top, engine start switches verified in the continuous position. Auto brake. Reject takeoff. Runway turnoff lights, we'll keep those on. We're going to move the position lights to strobe once we enter the runway. And that's basically on the switch here, taking it up to strobe and steady. We'll turn the landing lights on. I believe we're already set on our transponder to TARA, and we are. Heading bug set for runway heading. RNAV on, VNAV on. 1, 2, 3, yes we are. Our VNAV, RNAV on. And folks, they again say the lower ECAM, which is this one, needs to be blank. I don't know why they say that. I'll have to ask some people I know that fly these things or trained pilots to fly them. Over here, our takeoff procedure now, just want to read it off to you. Besides starting the clock, we're going to enter, we're going to first verify the runway, which we're going to do here in a moment. Strobe lights on, other lights when we're on. Transponder is already set. Now when cleared, landing lights on. We're going to move the thrust levers up to 60%. And I use that only because it's a lot easier to see the number from my angle. And again, I know you're all going, man, you don't use that checklist very much. Once we're stabilized at 60%, we'll hit toga and we're going to roll. Rotate. Once we hit VR, we're going to rotate to 15 degrees. Positive rate, get the gear up. 400. Make sure we're in roll mode. And we'll begin retracting flaps at above 1,000 roughly. And then VNAV mode on is already on. Autopilot will come on. Start switches. We'll do that closer to transition level than right after takeoff. We'll make sure the auto brakes are off and the landing gear is up and off. Okay, that's just going through it so you know what we're going to do. All right, let's do one quick check here to make sure I don't get in trouble. Okay. And it looks like we're going to be okay here. There we go. Setting that up. All right. St. Louis traffic, FedEx 811. Departing runway 12 left. Let's see if we're going to move. And we are, so lights are on. I'm going to turn the strobes on. Auto throttle on. And I'm going to go out of the plane here, let y'all see it. Going to kind of follow around. I like to get it a little further around. I don't know why it's all of a sudden being a pig on getting turned. It's kind of like the old 7.4 is trying to get them to turn. Okay. Coming around. We'll try and get runway heading here. There we go. Okay. As always, it turned the anti-collisions off. Landing lights on. Alright folks, we are cleared for takeoff. Make sure your seatbelts and tray tables are in their upright position. And here we go, folks. Real quick so you all can see the procedure one more time. Okay. All right. Clock on. Here we go. 60%, and you can see now why. It's real easy to, oh look, the needles line up with that. And we are stable. Toga.
$80 knots. V1.
And I
Rotate.
already screwed up. That's okay. Forgot to
Positive
get the
rate.
Acres program running for FedEx. So we're not getting credit for it with them. That's okay.
400.
Gear up. Okay, let's get back on course.
$1,000.
Okay. And into the clouds. Autopilot on. Landing gear lever off. Alright folks, so we accelerated to 60%. We released, they say parking brakes, Toga, V2, autopilot, and flaps will begin to retract now. Gear is off. Auto brake is off. Okay, the flaps on. One thing I am going to do, like I do always, Okay, I set for 240, and that's primarily for the VAs, because, you know, if you run their ACARS programs, which granted we're not doing right now, because I have really got to find a way to put that into the flight checks, so I don't forget like this. It just means I have to fly it again. Darn luck. Alright, so we are on our way, but you know what? Y'all are going to get to enjoy this. So, alright folks, we are airborne. We're going to continue here. So, flaps are retracted and up. Auto brake is verified off. Landing gear off. And they're saying start switches to auto as well. We're going to go ahead and do it then. Okay, lights are all on. Good. And lights will go off at 10,000. Altimeters will be set at 18,000 for the 2992. There you have it, folks. We are climbing out of St. Louis. We're going to go ahead and turn on traffic. I'm going to put the weather radar. Oh, excuse me. I hate when I get the hiccups. And terrain. Start scooting them out a little. Alright, so folks, enjoy the ride. We'll stay with you at least through 10,000. Get the lights off, get the aircraft made sure we get those checks done, and then we'll press on. I'm not really overly upset at myself for not setting that ACARS program up, but it would have been nice to get credit, because I was actually, if what happened last night didn't happen, I might have turned two flights out of it. But it happened. This morning happened. We can't, so this will be the only flight, folks. Alright, there's 10,000 feet, so we'll head up top here. Get those lights off. Okay, everything looks good here. And we're heading for cruise. We don't have fuel in the center, so that's something we don't have to worry about. And you can just see how just grizzly ugly it is. There we are, climbing through 12,000 above the fog and low clouds. Okay, give you a good look here at the panel. 12,000, 13,000 coming up. We're leveling off. And there you go, folks. Beautiful look at the 737. Some of you have asked, am I ever going to fly anything different than the Caravan King Airs up in Alaska, the 737 or 747? I'm working on it, folks. Just trying to figure out which Airbus I want to first purchase. Yes, to Minnie, oh my God, he's getting a scare bus. So, I would like to get a 767 or 757, but I'll tell you, Spy Flight's just, every time he flies that, I'm going, you know, I could do that. I think I could handle flying it. And that gives me the Allegiant flights we see. Even though they upset me, you know, I could. So I am looking at the Airbuses. Y'all want to chime in which one you think. I'm not going to get the 330, even if one's coming out, but I will look at the 319, 320, 321s, and I think I'm going to start with the 320s. So just the 320, because I believe that's one company, and then the other two are another company. So, but we'll see. I want to make sure everything's okay for that before I do it, but it looks like I might be getting a bus, and we'll give it a try. Alright folks, let's hop into the cockpit. Just now crossing the transition altitude. Now, one thing we did not set, and I will be remiss in saying I did that, is I didn't set my minimums. Shame on me. Okay. Alright, we're at 900, so we'll set there. We're on VOR. Okay, so we're going to go into our cruise checklist, and then we're going to get some music going, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes as we reach cruise, and then begin our arrival brief in, so we can get into Omaha here at a decent hour. So let me, center pumps are off, AP FMC's been checked. We'll set our descent altitude after we hit top of cruise. And it's going to bring us over to this one. Okay, takeoff's taken care of. Okay, we turned the signs off, transition and verified. Waiting for top of descent. Alright, so folks, we, as always, all of y'all that follow us, the 45 viewers that are out there, we appreciate you. Would love to chat with you in the chat room. We do have a Discord channel. Hang on a second. I don't think I have that running. I do not. Wow. Let's see here. It's so nice that my computer's working like it did a couple of days ago. One of these days, Spy Flight, I'm going to stream with, doing a CRJ run, Denver to Tucson. Nice. Nice, nice. All right, folks. Well, we're going to let the music roll on and look to you at the top of climb. Hope you enjoy. All right, folks. Rejoining you here, 31,000 feet, pushing for 36. All right, folks, we are getting real close to top of climb. And with that, I am going to go ahead and push us into our arrival brief. Looks like we got about 9 miles to go here. Not sure why it said that. But all right, so okay, so we're 200 and call it 15 miles out. We're about to cross 35,000 and level off at 36. Folks, if you have any questions for me, I'll do the best I can to answer. But yeah, we are on our way to Omaha. And with that, Sim Toolkit, I just want to make sure everything
1,000 to go.
levels off like it should. So yeah, we are going to hold here for just a moment. Okay, go up top, do the seat belts. Okay. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but we've got announcements on here as well. When the door closes behind us, they get real quiet, so it's hard to hear them. All right. Okay, and thanks for flying with Mike. To everyone here, thank you so much. For the 45 that have followed us, we appreciate you. Love to have you all talking. Love to get this community fired up and going. Still learning some tricks and trade of how to help inspire people. But we have leveled off at 36,000. Currently looking at a 112 miles to top of descent. So with that top of descent that close, let's get into that now to part the arrival brief. There's some toolkit in front of you on the map still. Coming up to Macon. So got a little spotty showers here and there, but overall it wasn't too bad out of St. Louis. We'll see what it's like into Omaha here. All right, so for the arrival brief, oh, hang on a second. Hopefully that helped out a little. All right, winds are 180 at 4, 10-mile visibility, overcast skies at 1300, 8 degrees Celsius, 4 degrees Celsius for the dew point. So we're right on the edge of the window for fog to form. 2989 for the altimeter. Looking at it, we could get some thunder showers, 800 here from 19. Wait a minute. What is today? I think today is 16. So from now until tomorrow, at or around 18, between 1800 hours. So we could begin to see some thunder showers. We'll see. Some 4-mile visibilities could come into play as well. So we'll see. I may be shooting an all-out ILS approach. We'll find out. All right, with that information in hand, let's go back again. Remember, we're landing on a 9,500-foot runway. Right now, you're seeing the information. We're going to see that also in the charts. So, and that is our cue for the charts. Here's where we are currently. It is following our track. And our arrival, the, okay, where did they hide? Oh, there it is, the Mari 3 arrival. ATIS is 120.4, 18,000 foot obviously for transition coming down. Procedures for coming in from Lamont, that is the LMN VOR, 116.7 how it's identified. We'll go to SWAB, correction, from to Mari, then to SWAB. Expect radar vectors to final approach. So basically what happens, we'll see here on the next one. So we're going to be 16,000 at Marwi, 10,000 for runway 14 left, 14 right. Okay, so let's look at our 14 right chart. What's going to happen here is we're going to come over, well, let me just see if we're going to back up. We're going to go, why doesn't it say that? Heading 320 for final approach vectors into, and let's show that. Okay, I just wanted to look at this. All right, so we're coming in on the 312. I don't know why. Should have been the 320. But anyway, we're going to come in, track the procedure turn, come back down, and make our approach. Again, 10,000 feet at SWAB. Now, the frequencies here that we've got to be concerned with. Omaha is 116.3, identified Oscar Victor Romeo. Okay, and that's the 32 right. Now, we could track that and just go right up the localizer and do our procedure turn to come back. They're telling us to go to 320, so we'll do that. At Marwi, again, 16,000. Now, Lamont, 116.7 LMN, that's where we start this whole process. So we're going to work our way in. So as we track in, we're going to take again the localizer, do the button hook, or as we call it in the aviation world, procedure turn. Here are the frequencies we'll be concerned with if ATC comes up. And real quick look, we do not have ATC. My only thing I'm wondering, I'm just checking to see if it would be Minneapolis. Okay, just thought I'd look. So That would be after Lamont. So where is Omaha? There's us and St. Louis. So you can see our track here. Not a whole lot going on out here. I'm shocked to see Peoria up, but hey. So continuing. So we're going to go, okay, with the localizer, the second line here. The localizer is identified India Oscar Mike Alpha. The frequency is 110.3. Final approach course here is 142. That's what it'll be when we track inbound. Outbound will probably be 322. Okay. Now, Zatar, which is located here at a distance of 6 miles from the end of the runway, 2,400 feet, MSL, or on the glide slope. That's what this identifier here is for. If we meet those, continue in. If we are not on the glide slope and we're above it, go around. And then our decision altitude is 1,185 feet, which is 200 feet above the ground. In the case of a missed approach, we climbed to 1,900 feet. Hang on a second, I heard something ding. Okay, that might have been, but I doubt it. Okay, so if we have to go miss, it's climb to 1,900 feet, then while climbing, continue climbing at a left-hand turn to 3,000 feet. Direct Omaha VOR, which is Oscar Victor Romeo 116.3 Oscar Victor Romeo. That's where we'll hold. Or what ATC tells us to do. Alright, so we're going to be coming in at Zatar. Maximum height they want us at is 6,000 feet. We'll descend down and then take our procedure turn so we can come back to Zatar at 2,400 feet. Now, procedure turn, remember, you turn, once wings level, it's 1 minute. Then you turn reciprocal. In this case, we go outbound on the 007. Then we, 1 minute after wings level, turn back 187 to the intercept for the localizer. Then we track inbound. Okay, and then finally, the information at the bottom. This is timing wise inbound. Believe this is from Zotar. Wait a minute. Yes, Zatar to our missed approach 1.1 or 1.7 is the times to them, depending on your airspeeds. Okay, so we got the ALSIP 2 approach lights. Pappy's on the left-hand side is what we should see. This tells us in a picture, if you will, what we need to do. And then our minimums down here. All right, folks. The one last thing I want to cover in the approach brief is, hang on a second as I move a sim toolkit out of the way here. Okay, and I've got the overlay so you get an idea where we're at. We're going to look at the information on our arrival for VREF. Hang on, let me see. Really curious what's been dinging at me. Okay, it's definitely not that. Okay, we got 42 miles. We're getting real close. I want to get this wrapped up here. We're showing 145. Just checking with the landing here. And we're going to be landing on a 9,500 foot runway. Should be dry, 30 degrees flaps. Now we're going to have engine and wing ice on. And hoping to set for a break 3 arrival. Okay. Oh, I did it. I did it wrong. All right, so 14 right. 145, 152 will be our approach. We should end with 3,100 feet of runway. So that's the game plan as of right now, folks. Okay. And that's what we're going to plug, get set up. Okay, so we are now within 31 miles, so I want to get us into that descent so we can start coming down. Over to here. Okay, so we're going to verify our landing altitude is set, system recall, and then we're going to enter the VREF. Okay. And again, our approach speed in will be 152. Okay, VREF is set. All right, we're coming down to, was it 16? I believe it was. Okay, we'll set that first. All right, we're about ready. We're going to go ahead and start our descent. Okay. Throttles are coming back. All right, and we're slowing and starting our descent. All right, so back over here. Did forget. Oops, sorry about the moving around. I hope I'm not making you more sick. Radio set 100. And the altimeter there, 2989. Okay. All right, folks, we are descending into Omaha at this time. Let's get our VORs all set up. .110.3. And then for now, 116.3. Okay, let's do a recall. Push that, that gives you your recall. All right, we're making our turn and we need to put this in. Legs. Okay, so we're going to have to take the plane for a little bit. Okay, so page. Mari. Swab, that does. I was close. I knew one of them repeated. Okay, so we put the 10,000. We're having to build this a little bit here, folks. All right, so really concerned with some of this. Ah, okay. That's what we'll do. Okay. All right. So what they're doing. No, that's not right. That's a good speed. Basically what we're going to do is follow this to OTC. We'll do our procedure turn, come back in, catch Zotar at 2400, 159, make our run. We're not going to make our 16,000 as we wanted. So come back up here, set for 10,000. There we go. All right, folks, so we're set for 10,000 in. We're descending fare rate. I'd like to get a little better. Oh, and 142. We'll start there and fine tune from there. 142. All right. Okay, folks, we are now set up for the arrival. That is the arrival brief. We're set up. We're descending. We'll see you as we approach Swab and we do the approach in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the approach. Let's get some checklists done here. Descent. We are descending. Start switches are in continuous. They are right there. Also, turned on the fasten your seatbelt sign, and now turning on the no electronics so the cargo behaves back there. Landing lights come on at 10,000 feet. And as soon as we cross, let's try that word again, cross Swab, we'll go into the approach brief, which is really 10 miles away. So we're going to make the 10,000 foot. We should be decelerating here shortly. Let me kind of zoom in on the panel here. Okay. So there's Swab, and we will be at 240, by the way, there. We're going to be continuing from there down to 6,000, and then down to 3,000 as we do the procedure turn. That all makes sense to you, I hope. Okay, and one last look. They're going to have to ping me from here on. Where am I? There's Omaha. There's me. just looking at the chart here, or I'm sorry, at the coverage on a VATSIM. I know, folks, I'm on VATSIM, believe it or not, so you missed your opportunity. All right, so here comes swab in 2 miles. We
1,000 to go.
should begin our slowdown here. I'm shocked we don't have a decel. Good thing is, there it is. We're going to go ahead, deploy spoilers real quick. Air brakes, whatever you want to call them. And that'll hold us up there at 10. And in a moment, I'm going to set for us to continue. All right, and we are not continuing, so that does not surprise me in the least. Okay. Get our descent started. And I'm going to dial this range down. Oh. Well, guess what? We're coming down. Nice 1,000 feet a minute. Okay, there we go, folks. I'm gonna go ahead. Okay. All right, so approach procedure. Altimeters are set to 2989. Altitude set for approach. ILS frequency dialed in and in standby on number 1, dialed in on number 2. V-card approach, we have 145 for the ref. Approach will be 152. We'll set 155 to 152 at Zitar. Landing gear will go down as prescribed. Speed brakes are armed. Not yet. Will be shortly. I don't have them deployed, do I? No. Oh, I do. It's odd. I guess they are back. Okay. And we'll deploy flaps on schedule. Lights need to come on. Okay, folks, that is the approach procedure. We will begin to set up the ILS procedure on the inbound back in. So we are 8,100 feet, 240. Let's go ahead and slow her up to 220. No need to be speed demon through here. And just so you all know, here's the runway we're landing on. Zatar is right there. So we're just out of range of seeing OTC, SEE, sorry. All right. Through 7,000. Like I said, I'm just taking our time down here, folks. Get our new course laid in here.
1,000 to go.
I am going to go ahead. Yeah, we'll keep her at 220 for now. We'll take, let me see if there's any restrictions on the procedure turn. No speed restrictions, but we'll be at 210. I'm going to slow us to 210. That way when we turn inbound, I can start putting flaps out. Okay, final check here. 120.4.
Epley Airfield Information Foxtrot. 2200 Zulu weather. Wind 140 at 5, visibility 10. Sky conditions 1200 overcast, temperature 6, dew point 4. Altimeter 2988. Arriving runways 32 left, 32 right, departing run.
Okay, alright, so we are leveled off at 6,000. What I would like to do, well, since it doesn't say, we'll do that procedure turn here shortly. When we cross, no. So we're coming, we're holding at 6. We've got our altimeters now updated. Alright folks, feel free to join in. If you like the channel so far, click follow on Twitch. That'll give you an email when we're flying live again here on Twitch. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, and I really do hope to have it up here in the next week or two, click subscribe. It'll let you know when we post another video. Thumbs up if you really like it. That lets me know I'm doing a pretty good job for y'all. Thumbs down, be nice with the criticism, but we'd love anything constructive that you have to say. Got a lot to learn, I do know that. I definitely do not claim to be Mr. on-air broadcaster. I'm a firefighter by trade at this time, have been a truck driver and computer operator, so, you know, so broadcasting I don't do well. Alright, let's see what it's doing here. Okay, I see what it's trying to think about. So, we'll do this. Okay, and let's slow her up to 210. And when we get wings level, that's when we'll go to 007. Okay, just about. Here we go. Okay, and we're going to start down. All right, folks, we are in the procedure turn right now. Okay, showing 13. Okay, we're almost to that minute. And we're going to turn back now. Inbound course 187. Get down here. Okay, 4. Here we go into the soup. Let's not slow up yet. And in we go. And real quick.
Thousand to go.
Okay. Dial it all the way to 160. First notch of flaps. Actually, we're going to go for 2 notches.
Omaha traffic, Walker 277 taxiing to runway 14 right via Golf Foxtrot Alpha. Whiskey, Walker 277, Omaha.
Omaha traffic, FedEx 811. Intercepting the localizer inbound for 14 right. Okay, there's flaps 10. Okay, reaching 3,000. Take her down. $15. Okay, let's get the spoilers armed up. Now you'll know they're armed, it'll say so here. Brakes are at 3, gear is now down, 3 green, flaps 25. Waiting on the ILS to pick up. We are on localizer. What I want to do is see what that kid's gonna do. Omaha traffic, FedEx 811 crossing Zatar, fully established. Flaps 30. Okay, I am not liking this. Is that Zatar? Oh, man, no wonder. Okay. Alright, folks, sorry, I was having a little trouble here going, why am I not seeing this glide slope come down? I was probably to execute a missed approach. I told the kid wrong. Now I'm crossing Zatar. Now let's get a quick look at that here. See if he'll... Okay. Spoilers arm, flaps 30, brakes 3, gear 3 green. Here we go.
Omaha traffic, Waka 277 short of 14 right, Omaha.
Okay, there's 2,400 feet Zatar. We're good to go. Cleared to land. We're going to go ahead and set up auto land just in case. Omaha traffic, FedEx 811 broke out of the clouds, 2,200 feet, runway in sight.
Thousand feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Minimums. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Easy girl.
80 knots.
Omaha traffic, FedEx 811's off 14 right at Delta onto Alpha.
Omaha traffic, Waka 277 taking off runway 14 right, Omaha.
All right, folks, so we are on the ground. 164 minute. Yes, I did that landing. Okay, I will brief everyone what I was doing wrong before here momentarily. I'm going to quickly get these lights doused for him. Nice takeoff. Nice. All right, folks. Let's get to work here. After landing checklist. Well, let's go to this one. This one seems to have more. So we did all of that. Yeah, I got a little nervous there, folks, I will admit. When I came off the autopilot, and lo and behold, we went into another bank of clouds that you couldn't see ahead of us. You got a little nervous. Okay, after landing. So, auto brakes are off, speed brakes are down. We're going to turn the probe heats off. We're going to turn the anti-ice off.
Omaha traffic, Walker 277 is on upwind runway 14 right, passing through 35,000, Omaha.
Okay, so back to what we were doing. Wrong 3. There we go. And we need the exterior lights off. Engine starts to auto. Flap levers up, transponder as needed. So that means we turn these guys to auto. Bring these guys
Omaha
up.
traffic, Walker 277 exiting the pattern for 114 right to the southeast, Omaha.
Okay. They're all set. Oh, probe heat's still on. No, it was off. Sorry about that, folks. Fooled me again. Alright, so landing procedure, landing, roll, speed brakes down, flaps up, landing lights off, probe heat off, strap trim 4. We'll get the APU started. And strobes off. Okay, actually we'll go to this one. Terrain off, weather off, TCAS off. And we're going to come up to altitude on. And no, I think I have to use that one. Let's see. It said come up to 4. Okay, folks, we're going to start our taxi again after we watched a great takeoff by the other. Whoa, what's going on here? Hang on. Okay, so we're going to start taxi again.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Irritating. Alright, so we just have the anti-ice issue. Alright, folks, again, landing was 164 feet a minute. I'll take that. Especially since I thought I was going to have a lot more trouble than I did. Alright, folks, we are headed to the cargo area. And that is, we're crossing 1836. Got a ways to go, so feel free, join us. We'll be back when we get to the FedEx area. I will say that was a fun approach, even though I did not let it auto land. I ended up being the one doing the auto landing. That was always fun. All right, let's get those taxi lights dimmed. All right, folks, we are just looking for our parking spot. I think what we're going to do is take this one. FedEx appeared looking at both Google Earth and the charts here. These 3 or 4 spots, excuse me again, to the left are the ones FedEx uses. Okay, and once we get in here and shut down, we'll kind of go over why I was overrunning runways quite a bit. All right, folks, welcome into Omaha. I used to, by the way, I used to come in here quite a bit when I was a truck driver. Ran for Emory worldwide, and every Saturday, my dedicated route took me out of Omaha, out to Omaha, and then back to Des Moines. But anyway, I digress. We are into the parking procedure, parking brake set. Up to the top here, APU gens on. Okay, go to APU, bleed on. Seat belts off. And all right, so that takes us one more checklist to run. We finished this one up after landing. Shutdown, so parking brake set. Engine starts to cut off. We did these 3. Then we'll get the pumps. Okay, so go here. Do it as easy as we can. There's the first one. And they are dialing back. Okay. Fasten seatbelts are off. Collision lights off. Fuel pumps off. Okay. And cabin utility switch on, IFE switch on, wing ice off, engine ice off, hydraulic panel needs to be set. The inboard electrics need to be off. Pack switches auto, isolation on, bleeds on, APU bleed on. Flight directors can now be turned off. Transponder to standby, and we'll run the APU for now. All right, folks, we are going to first open the doors. All right, folks. Whoops, that was the wrong one. There we go. All right, folks, welcome into the city of Omaha. Let's kind of get a good view of the plane here. We do thank you for flying. Now, the problem we were having on the last few flights with this plane and landings, if I'm going to take over, and I just hit and I didn't hit that button, by the way, on the yoke to disengage, I still needed to turn the switch off or the button. Let's take a look. I want to see that throttle. Okay, or hit one of these throttles. And I always wondered, let me look on the other side. Okay, so it is that way. So that's what I was doing wrong. I didn't disengage the auto throttle. Either this switch down or on your throttles. Okay, here's your throttle. Here's that switch. They click it while their hands are on it. They can also click it over here. I don't know if you got to do both. Assume just one. And the button I was just clicking was this one. Every now and then I'd click like I did today, this one. So that's what was going on. Again, like I said, pilot error. But I wanted to let y'all know I did do some more research and did learn that. So I don't get it. The one thing that really baffles me is when the wheels touched, that was supposed to trigger spoilers and no matter what, disengage auto throttle. But it didn't, so lesson learned. Well, folks, like I said, we are in Omaha. It's a fun flight out of St. Louis. Like I said, it's an hour and a half. Let's see before I set up here. It's a little under an hour and a half. So, hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a neat little city. Is the home to the Union Pacific Railroad. So, it does have some historic heritage to it. So, but anyway, we thank you for flying with us. If you like the Twitch broadcast, click follow. If you're watching on YouTube, click subscribe. Also, give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down, and be nice about the criticism. We'll take it, try and use it to improve. So from us here at Flying with Mike, we do thank you for flying with us. We would love for you to join us in the air sometimes. We do try to go on POSCON. We had some troubles today with POSCON, but we ended up on VATSIM, and I'm sure you all were much happier. So thank you for flying with Mike. God bless, and have a great rest of your Tuesday and your Wednesday. I'll be back out at the airport tomorrow for another 24. We'll see when we can get the next flight in. God bless. Have a great day.